A self-driving car is one that can sense its surroundings and operate without the need for human intervention. At no point is a human passenger required to assume control of the car, nor is a human passenger required to be present in the vehicle at all. A self-driving automobile can go anywhere a traditional car can go and accomplish everything a skilled human driver can do. Let's talk more about this. How do autonomous cars work? Sensors, actuators, complicated algorithms, machine learning systems, and powerful processors are used to run software in autonomous vehicles. Based on a number of sensors located throughout the vehicle, autonomous automobiles develop and maintain a map of their surroundings. Radar sensors keep an eye on the movement of adjacent cars. Traffic signals are detected by video cameras, which also read road signs, monitor other vehicles, and look for pedestrians. LiDAR, light detection and ranging, sensors estimate distances, detect road boundaries and recognize lane markers by bouncing light pulses off the car's surroundings. When parking, ultrasonic sensors in the wheels detect curbs and other vehicles. After processing all of this sensory data, sophisticated software maps a path and delivers commands to the car's actuators, which control acceleration, braking, and steering. The software follows traffic rules and navigates obstacles thanks to hard-coded rules, obstacle avoidance algorithms, predictive modeling, and object identification. What are the advantages of self-driving cars? The possibilities for improving ease and quality of life are endless. The aged and physically handicapped would be able to live independently. If your children were at summer camp and forgot their swimming suits or toothbrushes, the automobile might deliver them. You could even take your dog to the veterinarian. However, the real promise of self-driving automobiles is their ability to drastically reduce CO2 emissions. Experts identified 3 trends in a recent study that, if implemented simultaneously, would unleash the full potential of autonomous vehicles, vehicle automation, vehicle electrification, and ride-sharing. By 2050, these 3 urban transportation revolutions could: congestion should be reduced, 30% fewer vehicles on the road. Costs of transportation have been reduced by 40%. In terms of vehicles, fuel, and infrastructure. Improve the walkability and livability of the area. Allow parking lots to be used for other purposes, schools, parks, community centers. Reduce CO2 emissions in cities by 80% globally. What are the challenges with autonomous cars? LiDAR and radar are 2 types of radar. LiDAR is costly, and it is still attempting to find the optimal balance of range and resolution. Will numerous autonomous cars' LiDAR signals interfere with one another if they drive on the same road? Will the frequency range be sufficient to facilitate mass production of driverless automobiles if many radio frequencies are available? Conditions of the weather. What happens if an autonomous vehicle is driving in heavy rain? Lane dividers vanish when there is a coating of snow on the road. When lane markings are hidden by water, oil, ice, or debris, how will the cameras and sensors track them? Laws and traffic conditions. Will self-driving cars have problems passing through tunnels or across bridges? How will they fare in rush hour traffic? Will self-driving cars be restricted to a single lane? Will they be allowed to use the carpool lane? What about the fleet of legacy vehicles that will continue to share the roads for the next 20 or 30 years? Regulations from the state versus those from the federal government. In the United States, the regulatory process for autonomous vehicles has recently changed from federal advice to state-by-state mandates. To avoid the rise of zombie cars cruising around without occupants, some jurisdictions have proposed a per-mile charge on autonomous vehicles. Lawmakers have also introduced legislation mandating that all self-driving cars be zero-emission vehicles with a panic button. But will the laws differ from one state to the next? Will self-driving cars be able to cross state lines? Liability for accidents. Who is responsible for accidents caused by self-driving cars? What about the manufacturer? What about the human passenger? According to the most recent plans, a completely autonomous Level 5 automobile will not have a dashboard or a steering wheel, meaning that a human passenger will not be able to take control of the vehicle in an emergency. Emotional intelligence versus Artificial intelligence. To make split-second judgment calls and forecast behaviors, human drivers rely on subtle indicators and nonverbal communication, such as making eye contact with pedestrians or interpreting the facial expressions and body language of other drivers. Will self-driving cars be able to reproduce this link? Will they be able to save lives in the same way that human drivers do? There are 100 million lines of code in today's automobiles. With more than 300 million lines of code in tomorrow's driverless cars, cybersecurity is becoming a major problem. Synopsys is a leader in application security testing and software composition analysis for the automotive industry, assisting companies in incorporating security into their software across the development lifecycle and throughout the supply chain. What are your thoughts about this? Feel free to share it in the comments.